Welcome to the Redvee TV preview show, supported by A-Star Recruitment for the 2019 season, as we look ahead to the 2019 Super League Grand Final between your mighty Saints and the Salford Red Devils. 2 weeks I've had to think of that one. That's the best they could do.
Oh, fair enough.
Yes, so here we are. We've probably known for a lot of the year that we were likely to get to the final as long as we got over that semi-final hump. We walloped Wigan.
Yeah.
Do you remember much about it?
Yeah. Fantastic game. No, I don't remember that much about it.
Probably the happiest we've been all year. Yeah. Probably the perfect Saints performance. And we've given ourselves 2 weeks to prepare for what is going to be an almighty test against a really strong Salford Red Devils squad.
Yeah, they've been going well, haven't they? I've watched the game, the Wigan game, that they beat them to get to the grand final. And you know what? They really impressed me. On saying that, Wigan again. I mean, after watching our game back, Wigan again.
Well, did you fancy Salford anyway going into that game?
Yeah, because Wigan have just put in two bad performances in the last two games when they've got the grand final to get to. They've kind of, I don't know, not really shown up. But Salford are on one of those kind of crest of a wave at the minute. I mean, they've gone and beat Castleford and nilled them at their place. They've got over to Wigan with nothing to lose, and to be honest, played like the team. If you turned around and didn't know who was who, and you knew the history of Wigan and the history of Salford, you'd think that Wigan were playing in black that day.
And does that say a lot for this Salford Red Devils team? The fact that we almost expected them to go and beat Wigan at Wigan.
Yeah, I mean the team is. Don't get me wrong. I was just about to use the word journeyman, but it's full of experience. To be fair, with a little bit of kind of raw ability, like with Jackson Hastings playing at halfback and Lola Heyer alongside him, who came over to Leeds and didn't pull up any trees, did he? But they've got a lot of experience in there.
They've got Flash.
They've got Flash. They've got
Grand final winning halfback. Yeah. Phil Clark. You might not have remembered that he actually played for us, but 5 years since he won a grand final.
Yeah,
Josh Jones
as well.
Jackson Hastings.
Yeah.
They've got experienced players. They've got players with NRL experience. Now, maybe we're a little bit guilty of Salford flying under the radar a bit, but do you know what? Of anybody who came to the Totally Wicked Stadium this season, Salford came closer than anyone to actually beating us. And what was it, 30 points to 16 up with 15 minutes to go? And how we pulled that one out of the bag that night. And obviously that last try in that game was a controversial one. So that game could have gone either way. Maybe that was the sign this season that Salford had turned it round and Ian Watson had got a team capable of challenging.
Yeah, no, we shouldn't take them for granted. That's it. The names that you put there, Lee Mossop as well, Gil Dudson, all played at the top level for Wigan, and you think it's a step down, but you know what? They're probably, rather than them being individuals, as a team, they probably make they are one of the better ones out there, aren't they? It's not a case of they've got. You turn around and say, well, Jackson Hastings is their star. Yeah, he's Man of Steel. Yeah, he is probably their best player.
Does he regret taking a step down next season?
Possibly, yeah. Possibly. But Jackson Hastings can't do what he does if he hasn't got an honest pack in front of him.
Yeah, I saw quotes from Ian Watson today which basically said how awesome Salford's forwards have been this year and that he'd take their pack against anyone. He's actually said he expects their pack to roll over ours on Saturday. I'm sure that'll be music to the ears of Alex Walmsley and Luke Thompson and Kyle and the likes. It's a fire with fire type situation, isn't it? But that's the confidence that's going through the Salford side. So I don't think any of us expect us to turn up and roll over Salford on Saturday, do we?
No, I think it'll be tight to start off with, to be honest. I mean, it's usual October weather. I think we've got dry weather forecast for the match. But I think it'll be almost like the Wigan game. I know we blew Wigan away and we said in the preview that where would it be won? It is going to be the forwards laying that platform. And if one set of forwards can get on top and kind of go 12, 14 points to the good, it's going to be a test of the other team trying to get back into it.
Especially on such a large field as Old Trafford. I think the blueprint for probably beating Saints was probably set by Warrington, wasn't it, at Wembley? Get on top early on, kick long, make Saints come from deep and make Saints start trying to force it.
Yeah.
But listen, that said, we've talked a lot of Salford early on here, saying how they'll give us a test. Salford are probably the best team that Saints could face.
Yeah.
They've proved it over the last couple of weeks. They're a better side than Warrington and Wigan. Saints could not face a tougher opponent this season in a final than this Salford team.
Yeah, I agree with that.
We've seen what happened at Wembley against the poor Warrington side. So on the day, anyone can beat anyone.
Yes, yeah. It's just, it's one of them that if they turn up, they're firing. Jackson Hastings pulling the strings. You find yourself 8-10 points down, even if that's going into 60 minutes left. As you say, then there's little forced errors that could come in instead of playing.
And then the nerves kick in.
Yeah, I said it as one of my mates said against Hull. You've got to be honest, and you've got to almost make Salford come back out. If you're not getting anything, don't necessarily push it. We've got the ability to push it, but there's a time and a place for doing that.
Did we learn massive lessons in the Challenge Cup final though?
I hope so.
I've seen comments from Alex Walmsley this week, which basically said that come the final whistle at Wembley, this Saints side had one sole purpose, and that was to focus on Old Trafford and winning it. If the performance against Wigan is anything to go by, then this Saints side is ready. And do you know what? We've talked Salford. We're confident, aren't we?
Yeah.
How could you not be with a Saints side who has scored the most points, conceded the least, lost 3 games all year, and 2 of those were given to London, weren't they, Sydney? Sorry. But we should go into the game confident that this Saints side are the best team in the competition. We've proved it over 29 rounds, a playoff fixture, but now is the game that matters. It comes down to this 80 minutes.
Yeah. And yeah, anyone who's a Saints fan is right to be confident or to have confidence about them.
There's a fine line between confidence and cockiness.
Yes, but I think it'll be more the line between confidence and then going the other way into pessimism, because we all remember going into grand finals that we should have ended up winning
and didn't.
I'm
on the line between confident and cacking me pants.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
And it's not me age.
Well,
not yet. So, listen, apart from Matty Lees, we've got pretty much no injury concerns. We've got a first choice squad to pick from. I think Justin said this week that he's going to keep it pretty much the same. For me, and I think you alluded to it on the Twitter this afternoon, the only decision to make is that final bench position.
Yeah.
Do we go with Aaron Smith if there's maybe a slight concern over James Roby? Do you go with the versatility of James Bentley? Or, if you think Salford's strength is in the pack, do you look at a Jack Ashworth?
I thought you might have gone Paolo though.
Or Paolo.
Um,
Is that how good the 19 squad is? That whoever misses out is going to feel unlucky?
I think Jack Ashworth will get into the 17. I don't think there's much doubt about that personally. The last bench spot that is I think it's Smith or Bentley. I think if they're worried about Roby,
So who are the two who miss out for you?
Paolo and Smith or Bentley.
Okay.
Going back on previous grand finals, I'd probably stick Bentley in ahead of Smith. That's nothing against Aaron Smith.
Is that thinking of Matt Gidley?
It's thinking of Michael Shenton. It's thinking
Michael Shenton, yeah. Paul Wellens.
Yeah.
Anything can happen early on in a grand final, can't it?
Yeah.
And you don't want to be hamstrung.
Hamstrung
for a game. Because let's be honest, if I expect Roby to play as close to 80 as he can,
yeah.
If he was to go off injured, you'd put Bentley in there, wouldn't you?
Yes. Yeah. That's it. You can put Morgan Knowles there as well. You give yourself more options. It's tough because Aaron Smith came on against Wigan and did a great job. We all know he's a specialist hooker. He's not going to do too many minutes away from 9. But I'd probably give myself the kind of backup of that versatility of 9, makeshift centre and back rower.
So then Saturday, will Saints win?
Yes.
I think we'll win. I don't know by how many.
No.
I just hope I hope we win.
Yeah.
I think Justin Holbrook deserves it in his final game. So we're pretty much going to go and just sit and pray in a corner for the next 48 hours, aren't we?
That's it. You asked that question on this channel. Are we going to win? I'm not going to turn around and say no. My usual pessimistic self thinks that it will be quite tight, but we'll edge it. And I'm just putting that down to the number of times that we've been to a grand final and been bitten, and we should have come away with wins.
I think Wembley is still fresh in people's minds, and I hope it's still fresh in the players' minds. And I expect us to right the wrong. I'll probably be less confident if we'd have won at Wembley, but I think there's a desire to get it right this time. I think we've said all there is to say about the grand final, except come on, you Saints.
Yes.
Other news then this week, the Super League Awards took place at the Lowry Theatre in Salford. Jackson Hastings, Man of Steel, expected. Saints Community Foundation were unlucky to miss out on the Community Award, which they would have fully deserved, but always next year, bigger and better again.
Yeah.
Coach of the Year, Justin Holbrook.
Yep.
I don't get the argument. I know Ian Watson's done a terrific job, but if you're basing it over the course of the season, I think Salford won 1 out of the first 6 or 7. It took them till middle of June to win 4 games, so he's just had a tremendous second half of the year, hasn't he?
Well, I think the votes were taken in
August, yeah.
So it's probably not the ideal time to take them with so much of the season left, but you can. I think Salford fans are just are probably upset because they see what he does on a tight budget.
And I don't think anybody's taken anything away from Ian Watson at all.
But,
and I can see the reasons why you would suggest. But
in a salary cap sport, to go win the league by 16 points...
A record.
Yeah, and one thing I want to say as well is people turn around and say, if it was first past the post, Saints wouldn't have won the league by 16. So whenever I hear somebody say that, I think that...
They're right. Because...
Well, we'd have won the 2 games in London as well.
Correct.
There's not a chance we'd have put a centre squad down there that wasn't capable of winning. I mean, we only lost one of them because of an error in Golden Point. The other point I'll make on that is anyone who says that Saints wouldn't have won the league by 16 points, in a way saying that other clubs don't try in some games. They're saying they're not giving the fans their all in all the games. If they're managing the season and thinking, oh, we can throw in a couple of losses,
cranked him up.
If they're saying that they can put in a couple of losses, then they're cheating their fans out of their ticket money. And if I was a fan of another club who hadn't gone at it 100% all season, I'd be getting onto my club and asking for some money back.
Thanks, Brian Carney.
Yeah.
Young Player of the Year, Matty Lees. We are not going to do this show without talking about Matty Lees. He won't be playing on Saturday, but what a player.
Yeah.
And let's hope he comes back bigger, stronger, faster, fitter next season.
Yeah, that's it. He's done a lot of first interchange, hasn't he? But he kind of keeps the intensity up that either when Alex and or Luke Thompson go off, it's almost been him and Louis coming on first interchange. And Louis got the speed. And Matty's probably got the raw aggression, I'd say, out the two. And that's not a slight at Louis, though. But yeah, Matty Lees, as soon as he was out injured, you think, oh, what are we going to miss from the bench here?
I would suggest Matty Lees has made Kyle Amor a better player this season. Because Kyle Amor has had to up his game massively to keep himself in that squad.
And to be fair to Kyle...
And he's done it.
Yeah, he has. And that's it. He's rightly in the 17... week in, week out.
It's not even a debate now, is it?
Yeah,
People,
no.
If you go back maybe the end of last season, start of this season, people go, should Kyle Amor be in the 17? When's the last time you seen that conversation? You don't.
No.
Kyle Amor's in your team on merit.
And that's it, yeah. It's probably, you know what, it probably works in every single position where you get a young player who's hungry coming through, trying to kind of prove that he should be in the first team. And it probably does spur on the older heads to turn and think, you know what, I need to kind of knuckle down here to get back into the squad or to keep my place in the squad.
The only other news this week is Magic Weekend will return to Newcastle in 2020.
Yes. Happy with that? Yeah.
Happy with that. We suggested at the time, I think we did the Redvee TV outside of the #1 stadium in Liverpool after Magic Weekend, didn't we? Not the Tin Man, but the paperclip Old Punch stand.
Or was it Wavertree Athletics track? I thought we did again.
Yeah, but yeah, I just think Newcastle is an all-round better city location for the Magic Weekend, and I'm really looking forward to getting back up there next season. Hotels booked, Quayside. Why, man?
Happy
Like
days,
Geordie Shore, won't it?
Please don't try and do an accent again. No, that's it. Yeah, I like Newcastle for it. I think, I don't know. I've got mixed things about Magic at the minute. I love it. I love the concept. I do feel it needs to be just one of the fixtures though, rather than adding another fixture. I think. I mean, it's a conversation for another day. A little bit me thinks taking it round the country is a good shout, but the issue is when you take it to the likes of the Etihad, which isn't near anything, and I know loads of people love the Etihad, but it's not in a town or a city centre where that you can literally just walk straight inside 10 minutes
and walk back out when you don't want to watch a bad game.
Yeah, that's it. But it's, for the moment and for the building of rugby league, I think it's good to have it.
Until Liverpool gets that world-class stadium on the docks by the city centre, then Newcastle's the place to go. But we'll see it in a few years, Everton. I think that's all we've got to do, haven't we?
Fair enough.
Right,
We'll end on a blue note.
The only thing to say now is, please, Saints, don't let us down. Kev, watch yourself on those potholes outside. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And we will hopefully see you for some pre-match stuff on Saturday. Where will we be? In Manchester, maybe?
Manchester or by the Keys, don't know.
We will find Saints fans.
We'll put something on.
If you see us, come and find us and have a chat. And hopefully we will see you for a very, very, very happy post-match reaction after the game. See you soon.